Once you have all your visual and textual information put together, you can begin to arrange it in a timeline. And going through the previous two exercises should have helped you identify which things were the most important, which pictures have the most weight in your mind. At this point, when you're organizing a timeline, you're going to want to look for something called the triggering event. The triggering event meaning the thing that sets off the chronological unfolding of the story and that begins to endanger the protagonist, which is you. So in my case, it was my parents' divorce. That was the triggering event. I've arranged these chronologically just to try to show how that event unfolded into an event that is not even pictured. Now, very often when you have a crisis in your personal life, and I'm assuming a lot of memoirs are going to be written around crises, no one is taking pictures. So as you're assembling this information, look for the times where there are no pictures. Is there something that's clearly missing? What was clearly missing was a picture of the birth and a picture of the baby. Because I wasn't allowed to see the baby, and even I was not allowed to hold him or name him. Look for times in your stories where there's nothing in the photo albums. Either people are keeping silent about a secret, or you remember it differently than they do, or people are too much under stress to think about taking a photograph. You can begin in your captions for these things to call out small moments. For instance, that John wanted me to wear something hot. Now, this was just 2 weeks after I had given birth. So he clearly had no idea really what I had gone through. And speaking of hot, this picture reminded me that my mom and I didn't move back into our old house. We moved into a really crummy 2-bedroom apartment. And when I arrived, it was hard for me to climb the stairs. You might think the story would end with the reunion that I had with my son, but in fact, I think I'd like to end this memoir with the epilogue, which was that John and I did get married. We had 4 more children, and he was killed in a car accident in Germany. That will be very, very brief and kind of off to the side. That's why I've put it off to the side. But what I really want to show you is that even though most of the story is going to be chronologically told, I want to start the story with something that's out of chronological order. I want to start it with meeting my son pretty recently in Phoenix and him asking me for the story of his life. Of course, we're all fascinated with the story of our lives, but he thought it particularly apropos that we have that conversation in Phoenix. So you don't have to rigidly adhere to the chronology, but it will help you get your thoughts organized and just give you a roadmap. In my notes about memoirs, I said the easiest path is to take a small slice of life, and I hope by now you've seen that this is a small slice of my life. I could have taken other slices of my life, perhaps I will. And now in the next memoir, we're going to talk about how you choose what to actually write about. What are you going to put in scene? What are you going to summarize?